Hi, and welcome to our Retired Nomad Adventures.
Buongiorno, I'm Retired Rick.
And I'm Daphne, and we are a retired couple who've sold everything to travel the world full-time, and we stay in each destination about a month at a time. And this month we are in Florence, Italy, which is why Rick is greeting you with a buongiorno. We were a little worried about our budget and how well we were going to stay within it when we were in Florence, and so we have a special treat for you today. We planned an itinerary for you for 2 days in Florence, and it is such a budget-friendly itinerary, and so we've had to be creative, but I feel like we've done a really nice job putting together some things that are different and also take you to all of the main sites.
And then once you're at the main sites and doing this budget-friendly day trip, you can kind of explore and see what you want to do besides this.
Yeah,
so
well,
it's just a suggestion.
Yeah, well, there's plenty of things in Florence. So you turn a corner and there's something new and wonderful to see. So you may find yourself getting sidetracked, but that's okay. You can spread this out as and do it in as little a time or as much time as you have. So the key to our itinerary is that it's going to start on a Sunday. And the reason we want it to start on a Sunday is because one of the main things to see in Florence is the Duomo. It is a beautiful cathedral, and Rick has already shared with you that I've somehow become obsessed with the Duomo. Like, it's just breathtaking to see it. It seems like it's I don't know, like in a Disney movie or something. But so you definitely want to go inside the Duomo, and you can pay to go inside the Duomo, and there is also a free entrance for the Duomo where you can see a part of the cathedral. But we tried to go to that line one day, and that line...
It was a long line, so...
The longest line I think I've ever seen, and I honestly don't know how you could have gotten in there in less than a half a day. Like, the line went all the way around the Duomo, so that wasn't going to be something that we wanted to do, although we liked the free part of it. But instead what we found we could do is attend a mass service at the Duomo. So on Sunday they have mass services starting at 8 a.m. You have to go to the entrance for the mass, and so you'll take a kind of look around for that. We've got a picture here of the entrance you want to go into. And then you wait in line for, well, until about 10 minutes before the service starts. We came in, they sat us kind of in those back row areas, and then about 5 minutes before the mass began, they told us all to get up, and they moved us right into sort of the inner circle of where the mass happened, and so
it was nice being inside the building with the mass and just experiencing a Sunday in Italy.
Yes. It was a beautiful ceremony, and no matter whether you're Catholic or even, we couldn't even understand the mass. The mass we happened to attend was a Georgian chant mass, and it was conducted completely in Latin. But the ceremony of it and the acoustics in the building and just being able to say we attended a service at the Duomo was incredible. So we would highly recommend you start your Sunday by attending mass in the Duomo. Now, if you can time your stay really right, all the museums are free on the first Sunday of the month. So we found that out on a Saturday, and so Sunday
we knew what we were doing.
Yeah, we were hitting the museums. So we started off, and we would recommend to you that you start off at the Uffizi Museum. It is the most popular museum, and it's kind of the crown jewel of Florence, and it has all the masterpieces in there, and so you're going to want to go there first and probably spend the most amount of time there. We didn't get there till about 10. And we waited in line about 30 minutes, so the line looked long, but it moved very quickly, and there are no tickets available on the first Sunday of the month because it's free for everyone. But if you had to pay, it was €25 per person, and then you could buy a €6 audio guide if you wanted that also.
And then when you're in line, they do give you a ticket. Once you get to a certain point, they will give you a ticket. It says 00 for the price, and you just present that once you get into the museum. You go through a security check, and then you're in the museum, and you just get lost in the museum, and you can spend hours.
Yes, yeah. Getting that ticket in line is something important to know, because Rick was getting nervous, because I told him it's free, but he saw people with tickets, and he was like, I don't know, everybody has a ticket, but they're going to give you a ticket, and the ticket just it says 00. So the masterpieces in there are incredible, and you could easily spend hours. And I said that you could purchase an audio guide for €6, which you totally can, but we're on a budget, right? So instead, I would recommend that you download the Rick Steves Europe audio guide. And he has all kinds of free tours on there, and one of them is for the Uffizi Gallery. And so I would say download that tour and follow that. I think it's about an hour. You'll probably stop and start it many times because you'll be going into different rooms. He hits kind of all of the highlights, but there are going to be many times you're going to want to stop it. So there's no way you're going to get in and out of the museum in an hour.
And don't be worried, as you're walking through the museum, there are sections that explain each piece that you're looking at. Maybe not each piece, but the major pieces, and they are in English. So you can either just stand there and just read it and kind of take everything in, or a lot of times what I did is I just took a photo of it, and then as I'm walking around and looking, I would just expand that photo and read what it says.
Yeah. Okay, so that's where we're going to recommend. You're going to go to the Duomo for Mass, then you're going to head over to the Uffizi, stand in the line, it'll go quickly, and you get to go in there for free and see all the beautiful works of art. By now, I know you're going to be hungry. I was hungry, so you're probably going to be hungry, but you're going to want to get a quick lunch because we need to get to some more free museums. And so because you need a quick, and also this is budget friendly, we're going to recommend you go to the Mercato Centrale.
And you just go up to the second floor, and it's just restaurant after restaurant, and you can just pick what you want. People, if you want pizza and Daphne wants pasta, you can do that. So it's nice and easy.
I even saw sushi up there. Not that we're recommending you have sushi in Florence, but you can get all of the popular dishes, sandwiches, all of the things, and you can do it quick and easily up there. Also on the bottom is a beautiful market where they sell all kinds of fresh cheeses, meats, vegetables. It's pretty to kind of walk through there. And then when you come out of there, you kind of come out into the leather factory area. So there's the outdoor leather vendors right outside the Mercato. And so we recommend that's where you go for lunch. You could also just stop for a quick street sandwich, the famous street sandwiches here, and those places are plenty. And so just the big deal here is to get something quickly, because now we're going to move on to the Academia Museum. Again, that's going to be free. And again, Rick Steves has a guide for that. So you can just click on that and have that walk you through. But the real star of the show here is the statue of David.
It is amazing. You turn the corner and David is just right there in the middle. And it's just an amazing piece of art. And as you walk through the museum and see the other pieces of art, it's just amazing what the artist was trying to I don't even know what
how
the
he
word
was
is.
well
Display or
and show. So they have in there on the way up to David, you go through what's called the prisoners. And so what they said is that, and they're unfinished pieces of art where people are kind of escaping from the stone. And what they said is that David really saw himself as uncovering.
Not David.
No, Michelangelo thought that he was uncovering the works that were within the stone. And so you can really get, when you look at David, it's such a finished and beautiful piece of art, and you'll be amazed by it. But then when you look at the prisoners, you can really see how that came to life. And so it is a beautiful museum, and you're going to spend, I don't know, a couple of hours in there, an hour to 2 hours in there. Now, the reason you're going to go to the Academia second is because the line for that is much shorter. I think we only waited 15 minutes to get in there. If you weren't here on a first Sunday, it's €16 each to get in. And again, the audio guide is about €6, but you can do the free Rick Steves one, and that'll get you all the information you need as you're going through the museum. Now, if you have it in you, you could go to a third museum. We didn't have a third museum in us that day, but if you do, the museum that we would recommend you go to from here is the Palazzo Pitti Museum. And then there's also some beautiful gardens attached to that. And so that's really taking you inside some of the, famous homes. It shows you the fashion. It's really kind of, you go inside a palace. And so we didn't do that. We are lucky enough that we get to be here on a first Sunday of the month. So we will do that. We'll let you know how that was, but we would recommend, if you have a third museum in you, that would be the one you go to. So even though we didn't have another museum in us, we did still want to continue to see the sights. And so we walked over the Ponte Vecchio Bridge and stopped at a little wine window. So that was nice. €8, and you got to ask for, your choice. You could actually get an Aperol Spritz if you wanted to, but we opted for a glass of white wine. That was €8. And then we continued on to the Santo Spirito Market. And so every Sunday they have a beautiful outdoor market. This was truly an authentic market that was really fun and interesting to see. We walked around for quite a little bit, and I had to go get you a few times. Rick was caught looking at things, and so I feel like there's a little bit of something for everyone here.
There's always a table that sparks your interest, little trinkets of something, wine opener, whatever it may be. And this had it. This had all the special things, and just the odd things here and there. But what was great is right next to this market is a place to eat.
Well, and it's a popular place to eat. It's called Gusta Pizza. And so again, sticking with our budget-friendly theme, this was a budget-friendly place to eat. But they only make pizza here. So pizza is all that you can get, and they only make pizza because they are experts at it. And the pizza here is delicious. The line is long, but I think because it's the one item kind of thing, the tables move quickly.
The line seems long. When we were there, it wasn't long at all. We were able to get seated. We waited for about 10 minutes maybe.
Yeah.
But then as we were eating, we noticed that the line got longer and
longer.
And it really went by pretty quick.
Yeah. I think they turned the tables quickly, but delicious food. So we had a pizza, a glass of wine, a beer, and it was 25 euro,
Yeah,
something like that. So that's what we would recommend, is that you stop at Gusta Pizza and have a nice meal before heading back over to the Ponte Vecchio Bridge. And from there, it should be about time for sunset. So we would recommend that you stroll along the bridge, do a little gold shopping if you like, or go along the Arno River and have a glass of wine somewhere and watch the sunset. And that would conclude day one. And really, the only expenses you've had today are whatever you chose to eat and drink. So we feel like that was a success. And let's see if we can replicate that with day two now. So we're going to try. So you're going to start your morning off with some great coffee and a pastry somewhere. Don't fill up too much, though, because we're going to start you off with a cooking class. A 10 a.m. cooking class, and that's what's the key here. So we noticed on Get Your Guide, we looked on there, we were looking for different classes we could take, and we knew we wanted to do a cooking class in Florence. And we found one that if you attended it at 10 a.m. instead of their 2 a.m., you got it for half price. So that seemed like that was going to be for us then. And really,
well, it was the half price, but it also said unlimited wine.
It did say unlimited wine, and so that played into it, and they weren't lying. It was unlimited wine. So he had all kinds of bottles of white wine, all kinds of bottles of red wine, also unlimited soda. Also, if you.
And what was nice is you made 3 pasta dishes, and you ate those pasta dishes, so you're going to be filled up. You're kind of going to be stuffed. I don't know if I was stuffed from the pasta or from the unlimited wine.
It was a great class, a really fun day, and those 3 pastas. So we've attended cooking classes where we've had fun, but we knew that there's no way we were ever going to try to replicate whatever it was we made. But here we've already tried replicating the things we made. It was right up our alley. So he showed us how to make the sauce and have that kind of simmer while we got going on tortellini, ravioli, and then pappardelle pasta. So all 3 different kinds. It was a really an incredible class. And since it started at 10 a.m., it was about 2 hours of cooking. And so around noon is when you got to start eating your lunch. And we were done there about 1:30. So it was a good 3.5 hour class.
The chef was fantastic. He was super nice. I might be biased because he said I did a good job. So I think that's probably what it is.
And I liked it because he's super handsome. Like, I think there's a rule in Italy that all the men here have to be handsome. So our chef was also very, very handsome.
But what was really nice about this cooking class is it gave you ideas on how to prepare a pasta meal. Mm-hmm. I love pasta. I make it at home, just basic. But I was able to implement some of his tricks or some of his recipes, like putting wine in the sauce. Hey, that's a game changer.
It was. So we really have, and it has been delicious. So I'm going to put the actual name of the tour in the description. I don't know how to link it. You'll just have to search it, but I'll give you all the details so that you can find this specific one. It was $42 for both of us, and such a great value for what we got. All right, so once you're done with eating all that food and drinking all that wine, you're going to need to go walk it off. So now's the time to go see all of the outdoor sites. Yesterday, you saw all of the inside things in the museums. And now today, there's so much beauty around Florence and so many historical sites outside for you to see that we recommend now. We're going back to our Rick Steves, and we've never used these Rick Steves tours before, but I feel like we've been sleeping on it because we downloaded it, and so they have something called a Renaissance Walk. And it's just a little over an hour tour. Again, it's going to take longer than that because you're going to get distracted and stop and look at other things. But he takes you from the Duomo all the way to the Ponte Vecchio Bridge, and you see all the sites in between. And I thought the history was fascinating, and we kind of agreed to ourselves. We said, if the tour is not that great, we are going to pay for a tour because we really want to know and learn about the history here. But it was good enough that we don't need another tour.
We can't tell you what we learned, but at the time it was super nice to be able to look at these statues and find out what the meanings are and who they are. So it was really nice.
I could tell you a few things. Like, I do remember something. So there were some statues. Like, there was one of somebody holding a woman's head. I didn't know it was Medusa. There was another about the rape of the Sanine. I'm not saying that right. Women, and like that was super interesting. The statue of David outside of one of the main buildings is a replica, but that's where David used to be, but they wanted to protect him, so they brought him into the museum. There were all kinds of little tidbits and facts that were fabulous to be able to learn and to do it kind of at our own pace and to be able to hear everything that he was saying, because we had our headphones in, where sometimes I feel like you can get lost in the crowd when you're on a tour and not necessarily hear everything you want to hear.
You just have to be careful, because we downloaded one audio for the phone, and we shared our earpods, and I was really interested in what it was, but then all of a sudden the audio was going out, and I look, and Daphne's like ways away from me, so I had to link back up with her. So it was very interesting. I caught myself just standing and in awe and just really learning. So it was nice.
Yeah, so we highly recommend downloading that app, and know that you're going to start at the Duomo. Now you're going to end at the Ponte Vecchio. So you're going to go ahead and head across that. And now we're going to really walk off our pasta and wine, and you're going to go up. Most people are going to recommend that you go out to the Michelangelo lookout, and we totally recommend that too. But first, we recommend you go past that and you head all the way up to the San Miniato al Monte Church. And it is probably about another 5 or 10 minutes past the Michelangelo lookout. But put that name into your GPS, because it'll take you up a walkway that's a little different. And that walkway that we went up, just even the walk up was beautiful. Like, you could stop and look back, and the views were incredible all along the way, and you kept thinking, this must be where we're going to stop, because the views were so good. But then you kept going up, and the church area was beautiful.
Where we ended up going up at first was kind of through the residential areas, and then we went up a kind of a rocky, grassy, steep, really steep hill. And we came out onto the main road and then went over to the church. And then from the church, we were able to go down to the Michelangelo lookout point.
Yeah, but the church's lookout point is higher up, so you're getting a different view. And there's really nobody up there. So the Michelangelo lookout point is very crowded and very busy. It's beautiful. But at the church, there's really nobody up there. They have a sweet little gift shop. There were people up there taking wedding photos. There's a cemetery right behind the church that we spent some time like walking through. That was really pretty and peaceful. It just was a really nice place to be and to sort of really take in the city. So we recommend starting up there and spend as much time as you want. You can bring sandwiches up. Well, you're probably not hungry because we've just had all that pasta, but you could bring sandwiches up there. You could bring wine up there. There's benches to sit and enjoy. And then once you're done there, then we recommend you walking down the hill about 5 or 10 minutes, and you'll run right into the Michelangelo lookout point. And as much as I was thinking we were going to recommend you don't go there, you have to go there.
Yeah, you have to go there. Yeah. It's crowded. When we went, it was during the day. It wasn't too bad, but you could see it's a big area. You can see where it will get crowded. There's booths there to buy things. You can buy drinks. You can buy food. You can buy little knick-knack things, souvenirs, anything. But it's a must-see, and I assume it would be beautiful at night.
Yes, and it sounds like at night people bring up their bottles of wine. People, there's singing, there's dancing. It's just sort of a kind of a party atmosphere, which I'd love to see. We just probably won't ever make it that late. We went during the day, and we really recommend that you walk down and you spend some time really enjoying the beautiful views here. And then finally, to end your day, we're going to recommend that you end with a beautiful meal. And you're in Florence. We don't even need to give you a recommendation. No. You can go anywhere. Just throw a dart. Our worst meal was still delicious that we've had here. Like, we haven't had a bad meal. There's just, so throw a dart. But we will share with you the favorite place that we've eaten is a beautiful little trattoria called Roberto. So Trattoria Roberto is the name of our favorite restaurant. It's kind of an authentic family run. They've been around since the 50s. Little charming restaurant. You can get everything there. You can get the famous Florentine steak. You could get all the pasta dishes you could possibly want. You got
I got a seafood pasta. It was fantastic.
And I got the ribollata soup, which was incredible. We also got like a basket of bread. We got some bruschetta. We got a half liter of wine, and all of that for about just under $50. Yeah. So you can't beat the price there, and it has been our favorite meal. So enjoy that meal there if you can. Otherwise, just go wherever your nose leads you, because you can't go wrong. So I hope that we did good for you. That was our 2-day super budget friendly time in Florence, and we hope we had some good tips. Especially, I love the idea of going to the Duomo for service. Like, that was a real highlight of our stay here. Something I'll never forget. But before we say goodbye to you, we want to make sure to say thank you to Felicia. So Felicia, thank you so much. You really brightened our day. You sent us 3 coffees.
Thank you very much, Felicia. It was nice waking up and seeing the email. So
I think I shared with you, I'm always like, Rick. so thank you for that. And then we hope that you join us next week as we apply. We have our set criteria. We apply to every place we go to see if this is a place we're going to add to our rotation, that we come back, and it's our Could We Live Here series, and we kind of apply our criteria to see if we could stay somewhere 3 months or longer. And so we'll take you through that next week. But until then, arrivederci.